You are eating a lie. Once, food was wild with color and character. Glass gem corn, indigo tomatoes, perfumed melons. Then, one by one, they vanished from the aisle. For nearly a century, markets pushed heirlooms out. Standardization became policy and expectation. Beauty and flavor lost to perfect shape and shelf life. Scale chose sameness. Shipping first, taste last. The cost? 99% of heirloom diversity, gone or sidelined. Corporate supply chains optimize the menu of the world. Fewer varieties, bigger volumes, quieter flavors. Meanwhile, taste kept hiding in seed vaults and backyards. A living archive locked out by the market. Sensors, scanners, yet less soul on the plate. What if data served flavor, not just freight? What if algorithms restored variety at scale? The myth of better living through uniformity meets a different dashboard. Dirt under nails, code in the kitchen. The question, is flavor dying or about to get a massive rescue? From seed stories to sensors and supply redesign. From gut feel to predictive flavor and freshness. From lone seed savers to networked kitchens and farms. The tools changed, the stakes grew, the canvas widened, but the truth still hides before dawn in seed, soil, and story. Tonight, we reveal who buried the flavors and how to bring them back. Segment 1, Choice versus Control. There's no legal market ban, there's a standard of beauty and logistics. Heirlooms at dawn burst with scars and flavor. By noon, uniform bins win the shelf because pallets, scanners, and planograms demand sameness. Trucks, packing lines, retailer specs, filters that decide what even gets planted. Curves, colors, and short seasons don't fit the conveyor. The ban hides in barcodes and cold chain dashboards. Compliance over curiosity. Choice or control. Year-round sameness moves smoother through warehouses. Flavor becomes optional. Behind those bins stand multi-billion-dollar farm empires, optimizing risk, shelf life, and throughput with data. Off the main pipeline, forbidden niches bloom. Drought-proof grains, frost-proof greens, greenhouse oddities, built for resilience, not the aisle. Find the gaps, grow what logistics ignore, and one good season could pay a mortgage. Let's test the edges. Before we ride on, a promise. What we'll uncover will change how you picture the range and the food on your plate. We'll reveal the mortgage lifter tomato, born in the Depression, prized for flavor, now re-entering big systems through silent pilots. And we'll visit secret research plots on billionaire-owned land, kept quiet, fence-tight, and tuned by data. Off the tourist maps, on the logistics maps, where new varieties and grazing tactics are trialed at scale. Come behind the curtain, from archives to satellites. We'll connect the dots, old headlines, quiet patents, names you know, funding you don't, freight logs, seed orders, and odd shipments to nowhere in particular. Flight paths arc over empty country. Drones trace grids like invisible fences. Not conspiracy, just logistics, capital, and access. We'll follow the paper trail, then the data trail. From heirloom seed to geofence test beds. Why it matters. Yield, flavor, resilience, and who gets paid. We'll show where the gates are and who holds the keys. And yes, taste. Why mortgage lifter still wins in blind tests. No fluff, no panic. Just ground truth, scaled by tools. First stop, segment 1, the traditional anchor. Boots first, coffee steam, horses blowing, dogs grinning. Then the map comes out. Tradition sets the baseline, data draws the route. The craft is timing, not force, and timing loves information. Keep cattle in the green, water within reach. Measured, not guessed. Fences walked, tanks checked, calves paired, then logged to the board. A lifetime in the saddle turns noise into signal. The dashboard just writes it down. He says little, the horses and the numbers say the rest. Out here, credibility is earned, hoof by hoof, plot by plot. Tools help, radios, vets, farriers, soon, tags and dashboards too. But the core loop stays human and horse, now with a map in the pocket. Curtains open. Let's ride into segment 1. Why does a modern tomato taste like cardboard? We bred it to survive trucks and shelves, thick skins, uniform color, long life, not to taste great. For decades, breeders selected transportability, firmer fruit, synchronized ripening, and the uniform ripening gene that flattens sugars, acids, and aroma. Supermarket logistics finish the job. Cold chains mute flavor volatiles. Barcodes and scanners reward shelf life, color, and uniformity over taste. Flavor lives in fragile chemistry, acids, sugars, and scent molecules that bruise and fade. We traded that delicacy for predictability and mileage. Result: pretty, durable, bland. Segment 2. The aerial revolution. Scale tests tradition, but markets set the rules. Retail chains need millions of identical cuts, week after week. Uniform look wins shelf space. Odd sizes get discounted or ground. So breeders chase predictable weight, color, and marbling. Repeatable, not risky. Long shelf life is king. Vac pack, cold chain, miles to market. Logistics first traits scale profit. Tight growth windows, even carcasses. Flavor and nutrient density, often secondary. Why? Long roots and slow turnover punish variability. Retail QA rewards sameness. Shoppers buy with their eyes. Algorithms lock it in. Grading lines standardize what counts as good. Priorities shift. Transport resilience, finish time, packability outrank taste. Net effect, efficient, stable supply, and blander plates. Tech can flip this, pay for flavor, nutrients, and soil health, and breeding follows. Change the KPI, change the cow. Next, how air and data can target quality, not just volume. Segment 2, the cost ledger for 2025 corn. Illustrative averages, not your exact books. Think in ranges by region and operation size. We're showing a clean, round number model. 1 farmer, 1 acre, 1 year. Let's do the math. Inputs stack fast. Seed, fertilizer, crop protection, fuel, machinery, land, insurance, and interest. Seed, about $130 per acre. Fertilizer, roughly $350. Crop protection, about $70. Fuel and lube, about $55. Machinery, repairs and depreciation, around $145. Land cost or cash rent, about $300. Insurance, roughly $35. Interest and overhead, about $65. Total inputs, about $1,150 per acre. Now revenue, 240 bushels per acre, at an assumed cash price around $3.70 per bushel. Revenue lands near $888 per acre. Result on these assumptions, about negative $260 per acre. Break-even sits near $4.80 a bushel. At $5, a slim margin returns. The takeaway, efficiency helps, but price and risk set the board each season. Respect to growers, this is hard arithmetic, not failure. Next, how logistics and tech try to close that gap. System crops once meant catalogs, annual seed bills, and uniform rows on a schedule. Now meet a quiet rebel of the pantry, the Jerusalem artichoke or sunchoke. Plant once, and the patch thickens, tubers multiplying underground. Frost doesn't end the season, it sweetens the roots. A shovel breaks the crust of frozen soil, and dinner comes up crisp and clean, then into a cool cellar bin for months of meals. Leave a few small tubers in the ground, and the stand returns bigger next year. No plow, no replant, little irrigation. Hardy against frost, forgiving of drought, and generous in lean soils, sunchokes turn edge ground into calories. Roots lifted, split, and replanted, keep the cycle going. Kitchen food from a living savings account beneath your boots. Here's the rub. A crop that clones itself doesn't sell many seeds each spring. It resists the annual skew and the marketing cycle, but it fits homestead resilience. Picture a split screen, glossy seed catalogs on one side, on the other, a cellar stacked with knobbly sunchokes. Plant once, harvest for years. Less dependent, more prepared. Segment 2. The 1930s reenactment. In a small garage during the Depression, a mechanic named Charlie Biles clocked out, then clocked in at a workbench of seed packets and hand tools. By lamplight, he set out to build a better tomato, one big enough, dependable enough, to help lift a family mortgage. Biles crossed 4 heirlooms, season after season, by hand. He'd remove petals, dust on chosen pollen with a tiny brush, tag each blossom, and record the cross. Then he saved seed from the biggest, meatiest fruit and did it again, refining flavor, vigor, and crack resistance, until a stable line emerged. The result he called Mortgage Lifter, massive pink-red slicers that could tip a scale near 4 pounds. Word spread, customers lined up, plants sold fast, dollars stacked slow and steady. A backyard bench became a breeding program, and a mechanic's fix paid the note. In the depths of the Depression, she lined the porch with cuttings and starts, priced at about $1 each. Word spread, neighbors queued, coins and crumpled bills in hand. Day after day, small sales added up. Tomatoes, geraniums, berry canes, anything that would take root and feed a family. By season's end, the ledger told a quiet miracle. About $6,000, enough to clear the mortgage. No windfall, just relentless patience. Save, replant, sell the next flat, until the bank's stamp read paid. A life reset, built one small plant at a time. Side by side, a $3 pretty but bland tomato on white bread, and a lopsided mortgage lifter that floods the bun with juice and aroma. Supermarkets prize perfect circles over flavor. Ugly fruit gets rejected before it ever hits a shelf. Blueprint rules: diameter, color chip, shelf life. Pass the spec, lose the soul. Call it a market ban by beauty standard. Yet the gnarly mortgage lifter tastes like summer itself. Rapid montage, heritage staples built for winter. First, Mangelwurzel, the 20-pound beet that feeds stock and family, a cold, hearty calorie anchor since the 1800s. Tennessee sweet potato squash, thick-rinded keepers that sit on pantry shelves for roughly 6 months. Roast it, soup it, pie it, sweet, dense, reliable. Danish Ballhead Cabbage, tight, waxy heads that hold up to 8 months in a cool cellar without refrigeration. Slice for slaws, braise for deep winter meals. 3 pantry giants: beet, squash, cabbage. Calories you can stack and savor all winter. Field to cellar to table. Simple logistics, enduring comfort. Segment 3. Forbidden exotics. Meet the mangosteen, the queen of fruits. Thick royal purple rind, porcelain segments inside, perfume like citrus and jasmine. A taste people whisper about. For decades, fresh mangosteens were banned from U.S. import over invasive fruit fly risks. Tiny hitchhikers that could wreck orchards. Scarcity turned the legend into lore. Travelers told stories, confiscations at customs, fines, and that elusive bite you could only get abroad. Headlines warned of pests, clippings spoke in red ink. Ban, quarantine, protect the harvest. Map it. Orchards in Southeast Asia to American demand. Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia, lines stretching over oceans held up by policy. Protocols eventually opened a crack. Irradiation, paperwork, tight windows. Even now, seasons are brief, prices high, and the mystique endures. In Jamaica, ackee is heritage. Jamaica's national fruit and the heart of ackee and saltfish. But respect is rule 1. Unripe ackee contains hypoglycin A potent toxin. Prepared correctly, it's beloved. Unprepared, it's dangerous. Only eat arrows from pods that naturally open on the tree. Remove the black seeds and all pink membranes. Rinse, then boil and discard the water before cooking. Think lab clean prep. Diagrams on the fridge. Warning labels on fresh pods. The U.S. tightly controls ackee imports. FDA allows only approved processors. Most travelers can't bring fresh pods. Choose reputable canned or frozen products. Check labels and follow storage guidance. In the pan, safely prepped ackee with saltfish, scallion, thyme, and a whisper of Scotch bonnet. Keep raw and cooked tools separate. Cool leftovers fast and reheat once. Respect for flavor and for health. Never taste unripe ackee. Hypoglycin can trigger sudden vomiting and severe illness. Teach the signs. When in doubt, don't eat it. Honor the dish and the people. Enjoy ackee prepared by experienced cooks or from approved cans. Green, gold, and black on the plate. Culture and safety in balance. On billionaire-owned acreage, like parcels linked to Bill Gates, locals allege covert research plots behind high fences. Farmers report rice-like, saline-tolerant crops under tight security, and center pivots that respond to satellite commands. These are claims, not conclusions. An active investigation into tech, access, and who ultimately steers the water. But there's another American archetype, quiet, low-tech, and fiercely self-reliant. The Schwarzentruber Amish. Dawn means hand-milking in wooden stanchions, breakfast on a wood cook stove, travel by buggy or on foot. No grid, no screens, just practiced craft and tight rhythms with the land. Food is preserved the old way, pressure canned and boiled meats, rendered lard, broths sealed in jars, techniques tuned over generations. Root cellars do the quiet work. Cool, dark shelves lined with potatoes, onions, crocks of kraut, and rows of summer sealed into glass. If the grid fails, little changes here. Water from a hand pump, light from kerosene, heat from wood, and horsepower from actual horses. Community fills the gaps. Two models of stewardship emerge. Cloud dashboards and diesel logistics, or kerosene light, cellar buffers and neighbor labor. Different stacks, same goal, keep land and animals thriving. So, which future holds stronger in a hard season? The one backed by servers, or the one lit by kerosene and stocked cellars? Seed savers like Carl Barnes preserve native heirloom corn, patiently selecting, trading, and guarding lineages. His glass gem, jewel-bright kernels prove that memory can live inside a seed and travel family to family. Tools change. Stewardship stays sacred, shared. Hands pass seed packets. Future harvests, older than any algorithm. The cowboy hasn't disappeared. You can taste the lineage. The spurs may be quieter, notes more nuanced, but the signal is stronger, in flavor and in memory. At a ranch table, heritage rides the palate. Smoky, wine-like complexity from lines stewarded across generations. You get terroir and beef like vintages in a cellar. Grass and season, soil and water, handling and rest, all recorded in taste. Older bloodlines carry a cord of pepper, juniper, and clean fat that lingers. Modern uniformity reads smooth and precise, bright and consistent, built for scale. Both have a place. One preserves a story in the marbling, the other delivers reliability on the plate. We pass plates and pencils, notes in the margins, plum, mesquite, Rainier, South Pasture. Someone circles long finish, another underlines quiet smoke. That's cultural stewardship, keeping memory edible. Recipes become records. Herd books meet tasting notebooks. Each bite recalls a rider's dawn, a careful rotation, a mended fence, a spared creek. Craft plus computation doesn't erase heritage. It decants it, clarifies it, shares it wider. Uniform when needed, singular when earned. The West endures here, in the way flavor holds the land, the people, and the animals together, one plate at a time. Segment 5, Reclaim Your Garden. Plant living heritage. Moon and stars, watermelon, night sky rind, golden speckles, sweet prairie lineage, and fish pepper, variegated leaves, striped fruit, heat with flavor, from Chesapeake and Black culinary history to your beds today. Scarlet runner bean, food, beauty, and shade on a porch trellis. On a trellis, vines can cool homes by 10 to 15 degrees. Thermal views prove it. Plant for function, seed to plate to cooling. Thanks for riding along.